What's good, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Tia, episode 2. We are still in conversation with the ever so charming Jon Nakagawa. Jon speaks about the various giveaways he does each month. He introduces us to his core team in world and in real life. We learn about the inspiration behind Paragon store and also much more. So keep an eye out for some fun behind the scenes dancing towards the end. So without further ado, let's continue with Jon Nakagawa. So Jon, I remember we speaking about the various dance competitions booming up in Second Life right now. So have you known of some? Have you been on some?
Yeah, the first one was when we were relatively new. There's one by Woodcrest, and they call it the Paragons of Dance competition. It was kind of it was an RP sim, right? That takes place like in a college, and they had a dance competition, and they asked me to, I wasn't part of that, but I was a sponsor. And later on, more came about. There's something called SL World of Dance, and I think one of my bloggers did one that was kind of like an episode of, like a dance off. So yeah, there's a few of them that come out. And I think that's great. I think people, creating experiences for people, based on this real life interests, and for people to take the initiative to do that. I'm all, I'm fully in support of that. As a dance brand, you have to be. Also, I think that's great. Something different. There's also a lot of, dance troupes, dance shows. I think that's all wonderful that, that Second Life has all this stuff going on.
The latest dance competitions which I got to know was for dance classes, but for Parallel Universe Productions. What's your take on that? Are you sponsoring it or?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sponsoring that. As a dance brand, I've seen their past work, and a lot of work goes into that kind of production. I told them that I'll be there. Absolutely. And I think there's a couple groups that I know that are competing in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There, a lot of them are past patrons of mine. The only thing I cannot do, like in these dance competitions, as much as I would like to be part of it, I can't be a judge because of conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Because I just know too many people. A lot of them are my customers and all that kind of stuff. And if I do become a judge, I'm gonna have to be the nice guy. Instead of that Simon Cowell, right? But yeah, I'm fully supportive of these. I just wish I can, judging and all that sounds cool and all that, but it's like, shit, it's just kind of, that's something that's,
I agree to that. No worries. I agree to that. So we know Jon as a owner for Paragon on Second Life. We know he's a busy guy. We know he's got lots of things to do on his hand. We hear about all the technical stuff that goes on to mocap, pre-production, everything. So what is Jon like outside of Second Life? How would you describe yourself? We want to know what is Jon. Sorry, who is Jon? I can't say what.
That's a tough question. I mean, that's a tough question. The hardest thing for me right now is to, balance, the virtual world and the real world. Because one of the things that I usually tell people is that, I'm a first lifer first. I was never, someone that, when I started here, I just came on here. It started with like the fascination, like, wow, this is pretty cool, and then you start, building some stuff, and then, then I started becoming a troublemaker, a troll and all that kind of stuff. So that was, my beginning in Second Life, right? And now, now that I'm here for business, my whole outlook is totally, different. I'm a nice asshole.
Do you know what? I'll agree to you on that, because once you start a business over here, no matter what fooling around you do before, but once you start a business on, because your brand is associated with that, And,
yeah. You gotta be professional and all that, because this is like, there's a common saying in business that you don't play where you eat, right? And that is very true here. So, and there are times where someone told me, goes, hey, it'd be really cool is that we make like a dumb, what they call that show on Jackass. Like, SL. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. I was like, oh yeah, we could do this. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, God damn it, I can't do it. It's like, sorry, you can't do it. It's just, it'll be for fun, it'll be great, but I gotta represent the brand. And that's the thing is, when I'm here, I'm strictly business, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I want to do outside of SL. There's other businesses I got to take care of that I'm expanding off to. So the current John, I would say, is very busy in terms of building my business and all that kind of stuff. I think I screwed around too much when I was younger, so I have a lot of this is my jail time. I have to really make up for all that lost time screwing around, playing too many video games and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'll be kind of boring right now, but I do take my breaks, and I need to because it's being on this too long is kind of killing me.
You should. I think, taking a break once in a while, everyone, I think, as the famous saying goes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So we don't want John to be a dull boy, don't worry. We want more sparkies, animations coming on, dances coming on as
Right.
well. Once in a while, even you get bored of the things that you do, even though you love those things, but, if it's repetitive, you'll start getting bored, no matter
Yeah,
how
too
enjoyable
much.
it
Yeah,
is.
too much of something is you eventually get just unfortunate, but that's just the
Yes.
human nature, right? So yeah, occasionally, so I like to do a lot of stuff outside, and I want to get back into dance. I gotta, reestablish a lot of my past. Even though I'm kind of retired from the film industry, there's I gotta keep that, my contacts, a lot of stuff I have to do outside. I was more in the producer, like development line area, casting and all that.
Okay, right. And
But
how would you say, what was your experience in Hollywood? So everyone wants to hear this big question. What's your experience in Hollywood and how would you describe Hollywood?
holy
Go on.
crap! And I could actually get classes on this. That's how long it is.
Oh,
Hollywood is it's as bureaucratic as like when you talk about bureaucracy and all that kind of stuff. It's probably like take that and magnify it 10 times. It's so people have this idea that it's a glamorous show, show art. But there's a difference between show art and show business. So it's a very social industry. Your power, right? Your influence, how influential you are is based on your contacts of how there's someone who shepherds a script from development to completion, right? Like the movie that you see, your favorite movie, all came from a script, right? And it was shepherded through development to completion that you see on the silver screen. But the real definition of a producer is you're a power broker. You're the gateway between the studio, the agent, and the writer, and even some of the actors. So it's a very different industry. The inner working, that's how the industry really is. It's a very social industry, and so it's in order to do well in the industry, it's not kind of knowledge that you have. It's basically how well people like you. That's how it works.
so that means, do you hear a lot of nepotism in the society?
Oh, absolutely. That's how it is. Like in the unions, it's like when you go into the unions, like it's like they got their uncle, cousins, all that stuff. So yeah, there's nepotism without a doubt. And from their point of view, is they know how brutal the industry is, and they don't want it for their, kids or relatives. But even then, it's like the kids and the kids or whatever of these famous actors, they want to strike out on their own, and they don't want to be under their parents' shadow too, right? So they have their own struggles.
We hear like a lot of kids that they're born in a silver spoon as well, but at the same time they don't know that what the real struggle goes behind those camera lenses as well, because they have a completely different life. They're not normal life, right? They're always on.
There are, I won't say any names, but there are directors that were like that, like had it easy, and there were some that weren't. But it's it's a very the longer you're in it, you see all the ugliness, you see the not so great things about the industry, and it's like I said, it's this is the knowledge that I wish I had when I first came into the industry when I was 25 years old in '97, and but it was something that I learned along the ways. Truly is.
I think it's a survival of the fittest, if I'm not wrong. In the
Yeah, it's it's a lot of patience too. It's a fit, and learning to how long you can play the game. It's because when I first got here, I didn't have the patience for that. When you're young and you're impetuous, it's like you're not gonna put up with this shit from someone or whatever. You're not gonna be mistreated like that. But when you get older, you gotta learn how to navigate the rough waters. Just roll with the punches and choose your circle, choose your friends, and build your network. And you're not gonna get along with everybody, and not everyone's gonna like you. You're gonna just there's just so many people out there that you can develop good working relationships with, and you try to focus on the good stuff. but you know the bad stuff there, but you don't look at that. You just focus on, and then eventually all the bad stuff will, fall aside, and you just keep on building. So it's the people with the persistence, and you just work on that, and then you build from there, and that's, that will determine your affluence after a certain amount of time. Especially if you're like a writer, you just keep on. It's a grind. It's a really, really brutal grind.
No, absolutely. I think all those that we hear, and then there's you that is actually working on the positive side of Hollywood, of these big industries, trying to actually bridge a gap, trying to actually introduce new things into the virtual world. I think virtual world, not just Second Life, but metaverse in general, has become such a big name now. Everyone has completely got their eyes peeled and their ears sharpened on this metaverse thing. So definitely Second Life is getting a much needed exposure through this meta whole concept of meta and metaverse. And
I think it's great.
And with that being said, like Paragon, you've actually seen the gap in the market, jumped on the exact same time, and boom, there we go. That's Paragon. I mean, if there's a message out there for all your vloggers out there for Paragon, what would you say?
I just tell them to keep up the good work. Besides all that kind of nitty gritty stuff, like all the policies and all that stuff, we kind of pretty much keep it casual. Because the last thing I want is I don't want this feeling like a job, right?
Yeah.
Because you're here to be creative, and we just want people to have a good time doing it. But at the same time, we are a business, and we do want when we see like we have like 80 bloggers and only 20 of them are working, then that's kind of a problem, right? So, that's but we don't want it turning into a job and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, we do have to kind of like, we do want people that are serious and, take their things serious, but, have fun with it at the same time. We're not, cracking a whip and, you got to do this and that. And
you are one such person I've met, honestly, who's so busy, running RL, SL, and you have actually, every single time a dance comes out or every single time there's a video out for one of the vloggers, you are always commenting on them. You always see them. So how do you find time, actually? And it's quite commendable, quite commendable.
To be honest, there's a lot that I miss. And that was another message that, I had to say to my blogger. Thanks for reminding me on that. Is that if I do miss you, it's not because I passed you over. It's just that I might have missed you because it came at a point. The blogging came at a point where I'm like super busy, right? But if I do see something and I would definitely like it, or have time, I'll comment on it. But that's when I have my my blog team to fill in those gaps in case just to be my voice on a thing. But when I do see stuff, because we have so many bloggers, it's really hard to comment on every single person, but you do see stuff, and I do say something if I can, if I have time.
You do most of the work, honestly. You do comment on every single post that I've seen. I mean, real life does get in the way sometimes, and then it's not intentional. Jon is still seeing all of your videos out there, so keep making all the brilliant videos that everyone's making,
Yes, please.
With that being said, so Jon, what would you say on Second Life, your team, your core team on Second Life? How grateful are you for that team? And can you name a few people on your team that you couldn't actually have such a successful years for Paragon without them?
Oh, yeah. So my inworld team, first of all, I would like to thank, Victoria. She's done a lot for the, she's done a lot for the brand, in terms of like the marketing and all that. So I couldn't have done a lot of stuff without her. I mean, before I was handling all that on my own, but when she came, that's a whole, burden off. And she's done a great job from keeping the spreadsheets, and, she hands out all the prizes and all that kind of stuff. And there was no way that I could actually do that without her. There's also other people that, my blog manager, Nicole, she's been great. She's been great, and she's been very helpful. She has a good rapport with all the bloggers, which I think is very important, right? Because nobody wants to work with a blog manager that's an asshole.
No, absolutely. She's very helpful. Whenever you need something, she's always there. Always try to find out. I mean, I really went out of her way and kind of taught me, gave me manual instructions at the same time. Taught me how to do things, and she was quite patient with it as well. So I think she has a brilliant rapport with all the vloggers out there as well.
She does. Yeah, I think I chose well. And I got another one that came on board. Maya helps out too. So Maya, she's been very helpful. And who else I got? I got Miss DN. She helps me out on when we do release parties, and also some support, something with Lily. And gosh, who else? I hope I didn't miss anybody else. And also, like, my videographers, Kelly, Jet, yeah, Lady Kelly, very talented. She won the Cherry Boom Boom contest, video contest. Sarah Renee, very talented. There's some very talented videographers. Mars, did some of the Mike Peel ones. So yeah, I couldn't have done it without them. I own a lot to them. Yeah.
I think any successful business has a big backing of their team as well, as much as you'd like to be present there all the time, but then you would also need a brilliant team who would be your hands and voice, when you're not there. With that being said, how important is your RL team? I think that's the most crucial as well, as well as inworld. You have the RL team which does the pre-production for you. Do you have some names for us that help you out day in and day out, and without which you wouldn't be able to bring such beautiful dances into Second Life?
Oh yeah, I have my so we have my tech team. I have Jason, I have Abby. They're my mocap techs. So I usually have two at a time. I can do it one, but I always have two just to expedite the whole process. I have one animator, Cameron, and she's been with me since the early parts of Paragon, and he does always great job. So I definitely want to acknowledge him. Past I had some great quality control folks. I had Tegan. She's no longer with us, but and now Kelly is one of my QCs. Flavia, she's in World actually. She does my graphic design. Oh yeah, that's another person I forgot to acknowledge, is Flavia. She's been with me since day one, and in fact I knew her before I started SL. And same thing with my builder Andy, who did my store. I knew her. I met her before SL too, so that's another person that I need to acknowledge. And she's doing real good now in SL, creating logos and all that. But she created the Paragon store, and she was a blessing, definitely.
Paragon store is a brilliant one, honestly. Each time I go there, I feel like I'm at the Oscars, honestly. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that I kind of wanted to convey, was like that whole, classy, ultra modern look, and yeah, that's the whole gold, Paragon gold type of feel. But yeah, I'm glad you caught on to that. It's the whole store is actually like a dance temple to the real life gods. The real life dance gods. That's how it was made to be.
Very glamorous at the same time, with the golden theme. It's so glam. It's each time you walk in, you feel like you're at the red carpet event. It's brilliant.
I'm glad. We help out with the experience on that. When people come into the store, we want to make them feel that the shopping experience, at least when they come to our store, is a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
As for your other questions, yeah. So there's another person I need to acknowledge too, is Mark Morriso. He's my motion capture consultant for the company. So when I went into this whole motion capture thing, it was relatively unknown for me, right? Because see, my whole specialty was pre-production in the film industry. Post-production, motion capture, special effects, that would fall under post-production, right? Which is something that's out of my element. So this person, really helped me out. He connected me to a lot of my crew members, and he works for James Cameron. James Cameron, Avatar. Wow. He works right now for that company, but he's been very helpful. So I owe a lot to him, when it comes to mocap, and also on that, we're also I'm actually partnering with him later on. Like, we're moving studios to his new endeavor.
Okay.
Yeah, and and one more guy. He's no longer in Second Life, but Optimal Maximal. He's my Second Life consultant when it comes to animations. And he was the one who created what's called My Animate, which is Maya, right? It's an export to Maya, and that's a lifesaver. I mean, that without that, he probably wouldn't be. Because the reason why is, in the industry, video gaming, movies, everyone uses Maya, right, as the program for animations. But no one uses Blender. So without that Maya export, we'd be completely screwed.
Oh, right. Okay, we done something new there.
Yeah.
It's a Maya, right? Okay.
My Animate, yeah. So we work through Maya.
With the 3 years of Paragon now in running, what would you say is the biggest success factor for Paragon?
It's a combination of a lot of things. One is, a lot of people say this, and it's the customer service. And I think that's really, really important. It's part of our marketing, ideology, but making sure that the customers, are happy. When they come into the store, I always thank them for when they buy stuff. Especially in the very beginning, if I see it, I always thank the new folks, right? And that means a lot to them. And word of marketing is very, very powerful in Second Life. So what happens is that when you establish the rapport with your customers, right, they're going to tell their friends. It really, really helps. That was a big part of our success. You know, I can make a very average product, but if I kept the same thing, it'll be just as successful, I think. But you know, the fact that I want a very good product. I want high quality product made by high quality dancers, high quality equipment. That really adds up. You know, because I don't really want to. You know, if I live by this philosophy, if I can't do it good, I can't be at my best, then don't do it. All these dancers that I'm bringing, I have an obligation to them to make them look good. You know. I don't want them, look jerky or anything like that. So that's pretty much the two things. The quality of our work and the customer service, I think, is attributed to our success.
What giveaways does Paragon have in store for all the users?
So every month we try to make a brand new group gift, and our group gifts are not throwaway gifts. They're actually cut from the what we. It's not like this is crap. No, we're gonna give away it as a gift. I don't do that. They're actually like actual cut from the same cloth as the other animations. They might be shorter, but I just they might be the last dance in that set. That I said, okay, we're gonna give this away as a gift. So every month I put that out for people, just the community in general too, and. We do Facebook giveaways. I always would do them. It's like I said, it's for fun, and it's like I said, giving back to the community, and I don't mind. We do release parties sometimes for whenever we have like a star series, we do like a release party. During that time, we do a lot of giveaways. Also, our sponsored club, we have about 32 sponsored venues, and they do giveaways on our behalf.
Everyone should get your hands onto the Paragon's amazing dances. Absolutely. Well, my last question to wrap up the evening would be, how would you describe Second Life for you? What is Second Life for you?
It's a fascinating place. I'll give you that. It's just it's another world. I mean, it's just another world, another existence. I would say it's like another plane of existence. When I first saw this place, I was like really like my first time in SL was like I was like literally walking around like childlike wonder. You had the stream, the music playing, and I was like, oh. And I came in a time when Ed Sheeran, that song, and that stuck in my head. That became like my favorite song because I heard it all the time, and I love that song. So every time I hear that, I always thinking out loud is that name of that song, right? And
yes. I love that song. I love it.
Oh yeah, I love it too. That's like if I was stuck on an island, I only can take 3 tracks with me, that would be one of them. But that song, I really got, I heard that song all the time, and it just grew, and that was in Second Life. So to me, it's a very magical place. It's like the proto Ready Player One, I think. By the time it gets to that level, we'll all be dead. But at least we can see the pioneers, right?
Absolutely. I think it's better than Ready Player One, I'd say, because for Ready Player One, you need those headsets and gear sets, and for Second Life, you just need to switch on your computer. That's it. Boom, we're in world.
Yeah, and that's the advantage right now of Second Life. It's like at least for this level of technology, this is sufficient, right? Later on, when you ever get to the Ready Player One, we're looking at like cinematic level stuff, like full immersion, cinematic level, that at least separate reality. And maybe it's not good because shit, I can see people like not wanting to wake up from that.
I agree. That being said, I remember we used to have this game called Wii Console. I'm sure you've heard about that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, definitely. The dancing on Second Life gives me that sort of vibe. You have the handheld remote, and then you can dance your, on-screen AV just by holding the remote. But on Second Life, you can actually click off a button and you're dancing like Michael Jackson, So
yeah. You're basically living through the avatar. It's and the other one is it's less interactive, which is cool. Later on, I guess when it starts the technology gets better. There'll be more. I guess more interactive. Who knows? At some point, you'd probably be wiring in the Matrix.
Well, let's see about that. Definitely. I think anything's possible, anything's possible, given the level of technology we are used to now, and we're developing more. The couple dances that you've introduced. Tell us about your experience with the couple dances, and what are the difficulties or challenges that you faced with the couple dances?
Well, couple dances, something that's precise like salsa. The limitation is everybody's got different avatar size, arm length, shorter width, all that kind of stuff, right? So that does play a factor in how you make them hook up. The biggest limitations with Second Life, that's actually a good question that you brought up, is the only way to get that accurate alignment is you need to sit on a prim, right? To get that accurate sync and alignment. And that's the only way you're going to get it 100% right now with the given technology is two people sitting on the pose bars, right? The dilemma you're going to run into is when you're in a club, you can't res. The only other way to do it, to use your own custom couples dances, is you have a HUD, but then, you're using basically a hugger bass script or LV, and that's not going to be even remotely accurate. So that's one of the problems is like, there's no way for people to really get good quality alignment couples dances to be able to use their own couples dances at the clubs, and that's one of the limitations right now.
We have such beautiful dances for couple dances, but then that's a shame that we can't res it on a club or kind of have it hudded so that both the couples sync together. I think that's something in future if
I hope so. But right now, for time being, we're going to work on some kind of ROV, just for our own dances so people can use them. I mean, it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's something. It's just something for them to use. And Linden Labs can fix that. I think that'll create more incentive for other creators to, do these, because couple dances is, it's not very profitable because of this limitation, because people can't, use them. They have to use what's in the club. So it's mostly the club owners that are buying them, right? Or, there are people who buy them, but they have their own bars, and, and it's expensive because it's double. It costs double the, the labor, it costs double the performers, So you don't see too many couple dances in SL. But and as a dancer, I love couple dances. There's so many cool couple dances that I want to bring in.
I think the latest one, that was a Latin dance. I absolutely enjoyed it. It's got so precise movements. It's got so precise forms. It's absolutely, astonishing how could you actually achieve that on Second Life. And it's brilliant, honestly.
Yeah, thanks to mocap.
There we go.
Thanks to it's mocap technology. It's something that's been it's really, the more money you spend, the better results you get. That's really all it is. And having a good, competent crew to, attention to details. Pretty much my line of work is not really replicable, because it's to do a successful company, a dance company, number one, you need to know dances. So I'm a dance scholar, right? But normally people that are dance creatives, they don't have any technological background. So so I'm one of those cases where, I'm kind of, I go on both sides.
You're a win-win situation for us.
Yeah, luckily, I was so it's not something like, I could bring Brianfriedman on, but then he won't know the technology, the motion capture technology and all that kind of stuff. And you have people who are very good at tech, right? Who knows how to, they can probably do the animations, clean up the data and all that kind of stuff, but they don't know dance, and they don't know what people want. And knowing what people want is very important for your market, for your business.
I think the more audience you can grasp with your product, and you need to have that audience target and audience reach as well, so that you just not pointlessly waste your time and energy on something that the market does not want. There's always demand and supply and need in the market.
Yeah, you have to play the market, and you also need to know what a good dance is. So it's really tough. It's not everybody would know that. And then again, that takes someone that's very specialized in that area to know what's a good dance and what's a crap dance. For example, my dance that I did is crap. It's like the worst dance there, so I would probably get rid of it in the store pretty soon.
SL is a beautiful place, but it comes with limitations, and there's only so much you can do. You
Right,
can't
right.
really do everything on SL, and with that limitations as well, performing something and getting out there in the market, it's the big thing. I see all these creators, I see all these animators, scripters, so much goes into actually making one product. It's commendable.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's even the clothes, that's a pipeline in itself. You gotta do the mesh, you gotta do the rigging, then add the textures, the maps, and then of course you got the HUDs. That's a pipeline in itself.
Being said, John, it's a wrap up to the evening, and an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Oh, likewise. It was good fun being here. It's been a while since I've done an interview, but it's always a pleasure. T Productions, guys, tune in. You guys watching this interview, tune in for more future T Productions interviews with different creators, venue owners, and event owners, and we got a promising show here. We want more of these interviews going on. Keep things going, keep it alive. Get more people involved for the community, and I think what you're doing is great. Hope you keep it consistent. Hope you keep doing it, and lots of success.
Thank you so much, and also keep on making beautiful Paragon dances as well.
I will. I'll be here for a long time. So as long as Second Life is around, we'll be around.
Definitely, and that sounds very, very promising. And John, absolutely, you're one of those people which I really, really enjoy talking. Even though I catch you in the middle of a busy day, you're always there. with a smile responding to my IMs, and I think that's really commendable. So that's one trait that not a lot of people have, and keep up the good work and keep up the friendly nature that you have. Honestly, you are a big creator on Second Life, and you have such a Hollywood background, famous people, but at the same time you're so grounded. As you say that you have a good rapport with all your vloggers, I think it speaks volume in itself. Having you at our studios here, and thank you so much for your time, taking out your time for interviewing with us with Coffee with Tia. And I
Oh, my
wish you
pleasure.
all the success for Paragon, and have just do whatever you're doing. You're doing it really, really good.
Okay, I'm going to try, and we got a lot of stuff coming out in the future, we'll accommodate all the requests that we have. People want us to do like AOs and all that kind of stuff, and I'll do them. I mean, it's not, my passion is dance, but, we'll get to that. We will get to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. We look forward for that in the future. We do look. I'm sure you enjoyed that conversation with Jon Nakagawa. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to T Productions. And I will see you soon in the next episode for Coffee with Tia. Till then, have fun and enjoy.